I'm Mike Duffy and from Milton, Vermont. Currently, I'm retired, and I was a farmer for 25 years, and then went into retail management with Ace Hardware.
My name's Lawrence Rowley. I'm a dairy farmer from Milton, Vermont.
I'm Henry Kamak. I am the assistant pasture manager and I'm the pasture manager and assistant herdsman at Shelburne Farms. Yeah.
Well, usually you're up about 4 o'clock and did your morning milking by 5. Start at 5 and usually get done around 7:30.
Start at usually 4:30 in the morning. Start with the morning milking.
Then you had your regular field chores, field work, and baling hay, planting corn. Then your night milking around 4 o'clock.
I do about half of the milkings, probably I think between 5 and 6 a week. Yeah, so I do a lot of the milking. We're milking about 94 cows now, and we make cheddar cheese from all of our milk on the farm. So milk quality is really important, so we're careful about who's milking the cows. And I feed the calves, take care of the calves.
Do the feeding, cleaning, and the milking in the morning, and between chores, take care of the young stock.
Oh, it goes back to my great-great-grandfather when he came over from Ireland in 1850.
Oh boy, that's quite a ways. Probably the 1900s it started. My grandfather bought several farms. Most of them still with us today operating.
So I grew up right outside Baltimore, Maryland, in the suburbs, and my dad is a business guy and my mom's a lawyer, and so they were a little astonished, but I came up to University of Vermont for college 5 years ago. I had worked on a few farms in high school and kind of thought maybe this is something I want to try, and then I ended up enrolling in the CREAM program, which is the Cooperative for Real Education in Agricultural Management at UVM as a freshman. And basically a group of 15 students manages a herd of like 34 milking cows in that program. So became involved in that program and caught the dairy farming bug and have not looked back since. And I've worked on 5 different farms around Chittenden County.
My brother and I, when we were probably 7 or 8 years old, we were raking hay and the like with a team of horses. And then you went from a team of horses to the tractors, and then tractors, they just kept getting bigger and bigger each year.
And the tractors are bigger and the machines are bigger, so it makes harvesting a lot easier than it was.
We have a big fancy new tractor that we got last year, and that has like all these guidance systems, and it's really easy to drive, all the bells and whistles.
Yep.
We have a new setup of calf pens that we just got that are made by a company called Agri Plastics. They're a newer design and they work really well. This farm, we're a little different. We don't use as many of the modern technologies as a lot of farmers would.
I think there's, you got a lot fewer farms, but the same number of cows. So instead of having a lot of small farms like you used to have, now you got a lot of bigger farms.
It's a very active industry. It contributes a lot of money to the economy right now. There's so many, like probably 600 working farms right now, dairy farms in Vermont. So it's a big contributor to the state's economy.
A farm today with 200 cows is a small farm. Whereas years when I was growing up, a small farm was 15 cows.
It's very active. Price we get for milk fluctuates, so that's a challenge every day.
Usually, for example, in the summertime, cows are outside. They more or less take care of themselves. In the wintertime, they're dependent on you for feed and for any kind of care, water.
like I said, our growing season is from May 1st till October. So we harvest our corn and hay during that season, and then, the land lays idle through the winter.
I think most of your farmers today are using the computer. Whether it's to measure out how much grain the cow gets according to how much milk she gets. It's all done by computer, and the grain is released. It's all done by computer.
Probably the technology. Everything's changed, just like everything else, but we grasp all the technology we can.
I think it's good now, but it's it's growing all the time. If you take all your different farms, your maple, your vegetable, your wine farms, it's growing more every year.
So I would say competition is really a good thing. There are some areas of the farming industry that it's really difficult, like vegetable CSAs. We've kind of like in this state, the number of CSAs that are available is reaching pretty close to the kind of market base that we have, especially in Chittenden County. So I've seen a lot of farmers losing their customers because someone else is offering a CSA for less money or a different model. And I've heard them kind of saying that they're struggling with that. But in the dairy industry, you know what? We're like pretty gung-ho about anyone that's trying to start up at this point. You're like, no.
It's easier if you're raised on a farm and already have one. To go out and buy one from the start is probably nearly impossible.
I think it's a lot easier for people that have been born into farming, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're the ones that want to do it. Because a lot of times I've heard older dairy farmers say, none of my kids are interested in doing this. They know how hard the life is, and even them discouraging their kids from taking over the farm.
No, I think anybody can become a farmer today. You got a lot of people going into farming today, whether it's not so much dairy, but it's vegetable, crop farming and the like.
I definitely think we need to work on connecting young farmers that are really interested in continuing to farm, even if they didn't grow up on farms, with older people, especially in the dairy industry, and especially in this state. There's just not, we're losing more and more dairy farms every year, so.
I guess the competition is for land, and it's not too much around here. In other counties, there's a big competition for land, which is hard for farmers, but competing amongst each other. But around here, there isn't too many of that.
So I think there's definitely a land transfer issue that we're going to run into. Like, as a young person who wants to farm, I see all these older people that are getting ready to get out of farming and don't have anyone to take over the farm.
If you read the local articles in the local paper, they're always pushing local produce, and your schools are buying local now from the farmers, and I think it's great.
At least in this business where we're selling kind of a high-end cheese type of product, as opposed to like bulk milk, which is, competition's really not a good thing, and it drives down the price, and it's this whole cyclical thing where it rises and falls every 2 or 3 years, and we've just come off a boom, and I'm probably gonna go into a bust with milk prices.
There is a lack of competition in where we sell the milk. Sure. There's just one person, one company that buys it, so that makes the price driven by them. So they decide what we get. So that makes it hard for the farmer with less people to buy it.
With cheese, we're like really excited that there are so many great cheesemakers around us, and there's more of a collaborative type of deal where, we all share knowledge about how to make the best cheese. And this farm in particular, Shelburne Farms, we don't have to worry too much about it because our brand is really pretty established, and we're close to our market in Chittenden County, so we're lucky in that way.
I think it was milking.
Milking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just about getting your hands in there, getting dirty, or?
Well, milk was where the money was. So you knew how much money you're going to have by then if you milked those cows.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to be outdoors and be able to make your own projects and do your own projects and see you accomplish it. And, Just watch the cows and the animals.
I love animals too, but the fact that I am like probably sitting in an office chair for like a total of maybe an hour or 2 hours a month, and that the rest of the time I'm using my body in my work, and I'm out here, you know, rain or shine. It can kind of be frustrating sometimes, but also be really rewarding.
I mean, I have a garden every year, and I think that comes from farming. You know,
Keeps you going. It's just proud of what you can accomplish.